Welcome to the Kyle and Jim Fantasy Football Extraordinaire. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing good. As can be. I mean, I'm in the losers bracket. I did advance in the losers bracket too, which isn't good, but I didn't really have a choice because I was on bye. But it's, it is what it is. How about you?
I didn't expect to win. Like I said, I got Richard, and I had a team that just, I don't know. This is a weird year for my team. I felt like I drafted pretty well, but my team just never could stay consistent. And then once Jonathan Taylor, his crazy start to the season started to fall off, and then it started to show like the cracks in my team. Obviously Justin Jefferson not being healthy, but we can get into that later. So was a loss, but I wasn't expecting a win. I think Richard has the best team in the league, so I was just kind of like, yep, darn it, get him. But I think again I had one of the worst scores for back-to-back weeks, so I deserve to lose.
It came into the playoffs cold and stayed cold, unfortunately.
Ice cold.
Yeah, it happens. At least you made it. You don't have to worry about the losers trophy. Vicky does though.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we'll get into that later. We will actually let me grab a beer real quick. Okay, let's jump into the Fab Bet results. So the question last week was which team on bye would score more, Tiff or Heebs? So Tiff scored 182.42, very good week from Tiff. To Heebs is 121.4, not a bad week from Heebs, but not even close. So congrats to Tiff, Lee, Richard, Ashley, Mike, and Poor. You've all got your $5 already. Enjoy them. We're not doing any more Fab Bet for the year because there's not enough teams left, and your money is what it is for the rest of the season. Hopefully you spent it wisely. Carson's, you can pick up whoever you want because you still have like $96. And the Malort shot bet. So last week we bet on Lions versus the Rams in the trade bowl, as we call it, and the Rams win. So enjoy your Malort, Jim.
I still have to get something. I don't drink anymore, so I'll just finish this.
I'll do one.
I'll do an IOU for next episode once Heebs is back. I'll go get something.
Do one for Heebs. Heebs is he's in a better place.
So is Micah Parsons. He's in a better place now. I think that's like my favorite quote of the season from Dobbs when Kraft went down.
Yeah. I might start putting that in for the injury report now instead of the pray for his leg.
Yeah,
pray for his leg is still good too.
Yeah, they're both good. It's kind of the same idea, It's just like
just dumb.
It's not dead.
Just dumb responses to an injury.
Yep.
But yeah, fam spending. So Thursday, Richard picks up Jalen Wright for $15. There were no other bids, and Poor picks up Brock Purdy for $11. Tiff bid $6. That was really about it for fab spending. Not a very action-packed week. The trade block trades are over. No trades, obviously. Injuries. So all the good players in the Packers are now injured. You all know the names. We went over them already. Also, Bam Knight. He missed the second half. He's been the hot waiver wire guy all season, and he's probably going to miss time now. Devontae Adams. He left with a hamstring injury and did not return. I think we kind of talked about this too. I don't know if he'll come back. He's probably definitely not playing this week because they play on Thursday against the Seahawks. We'll see what happens after that. Honestly, we talked about all these already. Pat Mahomes tore his ACL. Chiefs were already out of the playoffs, so we'll see what happens next season with him. They're all in a better place now.
Wouldn't wish that, just on, one of our captains or even just your worst enemy. I don't wish that on any man. And, Tucker is in a better place. But
send out your prayers for him.
Yeah, pray for those legs.
I'm sending up my prayers. I already prayed for his leg.
Yeah, mostly leg injuries, so they both fit. So let's get into the matchup recap. This is what people came to see. So we had Carson's versus Mike in the playoffs. Carson's wins 112.1 to 105.0. So Carson's advances, Mike is out. Carson's was led by Bijan, Jacoby Myers, and Jalen Hurts. Mike was led by Dalton Schultz, Christian McCaffrey, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. We had Richard versus Jim. So Richard wins 118.98 to 72.5. Kind of a blowout. You don't like to see that in the playoffs, but Richard was led by Travis Etienne, who scored 30, probably for the first time all year. Dallas Goedert and Caleb Williams. Chris was led by Chris Olave, Lamar Jackson, and John Taylor. It was just not a good week to poop the bed, Jim.
Well, I mean, I
It
said
happens.
even when I made that trade for Lamar Jackson and Adams, I didn't really like it, but I just felt like, I was in the moment. Everyone was trading, so I just tried to do something. It definitely didn't work out for me. This is kind of the worst case scenario of what I thought could happen, and it did. It didn't really help that Daniel Jones went down either. So really, like what made my team good pretty much just fell off at the end of the year. It's a rough way to end. It's hard to beat Richard's team though. Richard's team is probably the most consistent team week to week, I think, at this point. Even though he maybe didn't score the most points this week, but he's been probably close to 120 points every week for the past like 6-7 weeks. And it's 1 year down, come back strong next year. I'm really missing that third round pick now. But I think
That's right. Yeah, you traded the third round pick. 'Cause I was gonna say the players you traded away didn't do. They wouldn't have helped you anyways.
I think if I would have kept Goff and JMO and never traded for Lamar, and it got
They might have got you another 30, maybe. They had a
I'm
decent
just
game
thinking I
together,
probably
but-
would have traded for Jackson Smith and Jigba at that point, and maybe I'm thinking differently here, but yeah, I might not have still had a shot. But that would have been my dream scenario. Would have gotten Jackson Smith and Jigba instead. Obviously, I tried to get that from Jackie a couple times. Mike was the one that got it, and I don't know what he ended up with this game, but that would have probably been a much better showing at least.
Well, Mike also traded his third round pick, and he is also out. So it happens.
If you don't win, you want to have picks, and whoever wins it all will feel good, and everyone who traded and didn't win is going to feel bad next year.
Yep. But I mean, yeah, you got to go for it. That's the fun of it. Lee versus Ashley in the losers bracket. We had Lee versus Ashley. So Ashley wins 88.36 to 80.76. So this is a pretty close one. But Ashley's out of the losers bracket. Lee advances. Ashley was led by Puka, Pat Mahomes, and Cam Little, a kicker. And Lee was led by A-Chain, CD Lamb, and Dak Prescott. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These are the losers brackets. These teams aren't great.
Well, Lee's team's actually really good, and he probably had a shot of winning it all if he would have made it. Obviously, this is a bad week from him, but if you just look at like player for player, he had like 2 RB1s, arguably. If what's his name is healthy, Bucky was healthy.
Oh yeah,
he had 2 really good receivers. I have to look at his team again. I can't think of everyone.
He had CD and he had Ngbuka, but Ngbuka hasn't been doing much.
Yeah, Ngbuka has been not as good the last couple weeks. Obviously,
yeah, he was awesome for the first
CD
half
was
of the
injured.
Season. Yeah,
he just kind of hit like a bad run. Like he just saying he had a really good team. It just shocks me that he might actually get the big Doc Johnson in the end, even though he was probably a game or 2 away from potentially being in the playoffs. And yeah,
I mean, it's me versus him next week, and I really hope I can snag another win and get the fuck out of this thing. I mean, I would have beat him this week. I had like 100 some points. I had an okay game. I just need him to have a bad game one more time.
I mean, Dak Prescott, 11 points. CD had 14, but yeah, a lot of his players underperformed this week. That's definitely I mean, Derrick Henry had 10 points. We had 100 yards. We just didn't have a touchdown or anything. And then the Colts defense, that's rough.
Mm-hmm. And then we had Poor versus Jackie. Jackie wins 120.7 to 117.3. This is another very close one. The losers bracket guys are giving it our all. No one wants to be in here. Some close matches. Jackie was led by Drake May, Baltimore's defense, who had the shutout, and George Kittle. Poor was led by Brock Purdy, Jameson Williams. Oh yeah, so that guy was in his top 3, and Zay Flowers, but not enough. Poor advances.
I think JMO might be a top 10 receiver now in the season. Ever since Dan Campbell took over, he's been incredible. Probably top 5 receiver stat wise. Trying to see here. Can't find his team now.
He has had a lot of very good games and a decent amount of okay games too.
He's basically, he's 9th overall in the season. And his last 3 games have been 23.4, 13.8, and 22.9. And then he had a 0-point game against the Giants. Oh, here, look at this. Since week 9, 14.6, 20.9, 17.7, 0, 23.4, 13.8, 22.9. I hate to say it, but
Yeah, that's
JMO,
very good.
I don't say I hate to say it. I like to say it, but JMO has arrived. I feel like JMO is starting to cement himself as one of the best receivers in the league. He's been so good the last, 6-7 games, and he's almost as important to our offense as Amon-Ra at this point.
Yeah, well, Laporta's been out for most of that too, right?
Yeah, Laporta's been out
At least
for
a good chunk of it.
I think almost all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's that too. I mean, I'm not saying JMO's bad. JMO's excellent, but as far as fantasy is concerned, I think Laporta being out kind of makes him the de facto number 2 pass catcher on the team versus like the 2A, 2B kind of thing.
They don't use Laporta as like a number 2 guy. Laporta is kind of just the safety blanket, or if the first read or second read's not open, he's kind of like a check down. He's not like a primary option most of the time. Since Dan Campbell's taken over, JMO has become way more of a focal point in the offense. Like, it's been very obvious that they're trying to use him in ways. He had a route last week that was one of the best I've ever seen. He was like full speed and then just stops on a dime, comes back on a in route wide open. The defender just like fell over. When he's on, he's just got, he's the fastest receiver in the league, has great route running, and he can go over the middle, which a lot of those guys can't. So that's why he can normally, like the Packers, you guys know that. He almost always takes a slant against you guys almost to the house every game. It's just if he gets over the top, he can outrun everybody. Wow.
Yeah.
We have another good one.
DBs.
Another good draft pick.
Yeah, not many DBs can keep up with that guy. He's fast.
No. And him and Goff finally have a connection now that is working. It took them a couple years, but this season it took them a couple weeks to really get into rhythm. Well, once they did, it's been starting to look really dominant.
Yeah, he's good. Happy for you. So happy.
I just had to brag about him. Yeah, he was like my they call it like a flag player. He was my flag player like the last 2 years, and last year he was pretty good, but I really liked him this year. I remember talking to Adam and on the draft date, I'm like, yeah, I think JMO might be better by the end of the season, like stat wise for fantasy, than Amon-Ra, which obviously is wrong because Amon-Ra has like 13 touchdowns, but he's definitely not far off.
Yeah. For the Packers, that was Wicks for me. I was thinking about buying a jersey last year. I was like, this is going to be the next breakout guy. I know it. I can feel it. And I don't know. He'll get a chance these last 2 weeks, I guess. But if with Christian Watson out, he'll be on the field a lot more. But he just hasn't done it. So
I thought he was the best receiver in your receiving core last year. I think we talked about one of the episodes. I said it, and you're like, yeah, you agreed with me. And I was like, yeah, I think great route runner. I thought really good hands. I know last year he had a lot of drop issues, and I just felt like his route running and his size were just, I don't know, just it's impressive. I'm surprised he hasn't put enough together to be a more dominant player for you guys.
Me too. But he didn't. So, maybe eventually he will. I don't know. He won't be on the team next year. Who the hell knows? But, I was going to go over bowl predictions this week, but I feel like we should have Heaps here for that. So, are you available to record next week?
I should be able to. It's a little bit easier for me now that I don't have to go into the office.
Yeah, traveling around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit, next week's Christmas week. But Christmas is
Wednesday. Or no, it's Thursday?
Christmas Eve is Wednesday.
Yeah, so Wednesday and Thursday.
So you can record on
Tuesday,
like we always do. That's still fine. Okay. Yeah, we'll go over that then, because this will be a short episode, I guess, which is fine. The last episode was pretty long, so it'll balance out. But I feel like I'd want Heaves to be here so we can make fun of his bold predictions as well as our own.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
There's not a lot of good ones in there
for next week. It's gonna be
Oh, the matchups for next week in
it's gonna
fantasy.
be Heebs versus Karstens and Richard versus Tiff.
So Heebs versus Karstens, Richard versus Tiff. I mean, I gotta look at. Let me look at the scoreboard because I'm curious who.
I think Tiff's teams really depends on who she's playing. Defense, like
Tiff's
I don't know,
teams
it's
depends
interesting.
on who the Buffalo is playing. Buffalo's playing
Right.
Cleveland.
Man, she might
That
get
could be
in
bad
the
for them.
finals. But here's the thing: she has Cleveland and Philly next for Buffalo. I really don't think she's gonna win it all.
Oof.
She might have had the best team going to the playoffs by what most people think. Like I said, I think it's Richard, but I mean it's hard to argue against Tiff's team. But like that's rough for her last two games, and like she's really
That's very
reliant right
rough.
now on McBride too. Like he's been having some crazy games for her. Yeah, McBride's big. I still stand by that. The reason her team's good is not Allen; it's McBride. Like,
Yeah, well, I had
we're-
McBride in my other league, and I missed the playoffs. I needed to win the last week to go to the playoffs, and I fucking lost. And I missed the playoffs. And I outscored, I think, every single playoff team, but except for one in this last week. I was like, God damn it! I'm so pissed I missed the
That
playoffs.
Tiff might have had her big game though, like 182. That's crazy, but you know, it's like you'll have 182 one game, and then the next week you'll have like 80.
Well,
What's
with her quarterback and her top running back being on the same team, it's like you live or die by the Bills. And the Bills
Yeah.
have had some stinkers this year.
She's been a lot of her players though have been playing well late. Like Nico Collins is now the 7th overall receiver.
He's gotten a lot
playing
better.
She got really lucky with Michael Wilson playing.
Lucky or
I don't-
collusion? I don't know which it was, but yes.
Either way, I mean, yeah. Now Tony Pollard's put up some good games for her. Yeah, she's on a run. It's going to be an interesting game. I think whoever wins the game between her and Richard is going to be the winner, probably of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick it right now, I think Richard's probably going to win. Because I feel like the Bills have performed very poorly this year against good defenses. And that's what they're up against this next week. Like, we've seen it multiple times this year where they just stink. And it's like, what the hell happened? It's like, well, you're up against a really good defense, and they just don't get it going. And that might be your undoing.
I'm curious to see what happens, because he has Rashid Rice now is going to be kind of taken down a little bit without Mahomes. But he still has Drake London, who could play next week, which might be a wash then. And he still has Brian Thomas on his bench, who's starting to put together some good games. So he might be able to, fill that spot with someone that's fine. And then you have Jordan Love against the Bears.
Wait. No, Tiff's playing Carson's.
Wait, why would I thought I was in the same bracket as? Oh,
Not Richard.
Oh, I guess I never saw the bracket, so I was probably looking at the bracket on here. That's right. And I didn't look at it for this one. You're right. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting then. That changes things. So scratch everything I said. Well, what's Carson's teams look like?
Carson's team is currently he's got Jalen Hurts against Washington, Bijan against the Cardinals, Kyron against Seattle, Lad McConkey against Dallas. That's good. Devontae Smith, he's got 2 Philly players, but they're playing Washington. Washington might be just done for the year. I think the Eagles kind of want to make some statement wins here at the end of the season. Whether they can or not, I'm not sure.
I think Kyron Williams is getting a bump with Adams out, so Kyron Williams is probably in for a good game. And then Bijan. So he's like kind of like Hurts, Bijan, Kyron Williams, and then the rest of his team's kind of meh.
Yeah. He does have Rome Odunze, who might play this week, but I don't know if you'd pull one of your receivers out for him. Probably not.
I would probably do that because hasn't Devontae not been that good the last couple weeks? Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
No, Devontae, I mean, they don't pass a lot. And when they do, it seems to be AJ
I would
Brown.
put a Doomsday in either for Samuel or Smith.
Yeah, I might pull out Samuel. Washington.
But if Doomsday doesn't play, man, he's Tiff has but again, Tiff does kind of ride and die by the Bills. So if the Bills don't play well, and then like Bijan has like a 30-point game, and Kyron has like a good game, he's probably over 110 points. And then if she has a down game because of those two, she's probably around 100 points. So yeah, obviously you gotta give it to Tiff, I think, just because she does have the better team there. But there's a path for him.
Yeah,
I think he'd
so
probably be pretty happy because isn't he like 6-7? Yeah, he was 6-8 on the season, so he could
Yep.
make the finals at 6-8.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That'd be fun.
It's because of that baller picture he has this title. That's why he's doing so good.
His idol. You look like an Amish dude in there. Is
Yeah, I
that
mean that was not the goal, but yes, looking back, that's what it looked like. Yeah, I mean, if you just let your beard grow up but you shave your mustache, you look like an Amish dude. Basically what it comes down to. That was senior year of high school.
Oh, that's that long ago, huh?
Oh yeah. You can't really
Yeah,
see
I
it in that picture,
see
but
you with a beard.
I also had like an afro, like a Jewish afro.
I think that's what makes you look Amish. Is the I mean, obviously you
Yeah.
have like the Amish beard. It doesn't grow on the sides very much. You have like the chin strap thing going on, but the hair's what does it.
Yeah, the other the winners bracket playoff matchup is Richard versus Heaps.
That's
And
gonna be a good game.
that one's a 50-50. I didn't say the last one, but Tiff is favored 58-42. She's projected for 122. Carson's is projected for 107. This one, it's 50-50. It's 113.7 to 114.1, so very close projections. Heebs, I mean, he's got a good team.
I still don't understand the GNT. Like, he also has to go against his playoff matchups are Philly and Houston. I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
got the bye. What, like, man, GNT has to go against Houston next week. Like, that's just he might not even start him, or he shouldn't start him. But yeah, he still has a solid team. Obviously, Javonte Williams, he's always good for about 15 points. He doesn't seem to be a guy who goes like much over 20. But then you obviously have maybe the number 1 and number 2 receivers in fantasy.
But he's got Ramondre Stevenson, which he could put in. Yeah, he's got both the new running backs on. You probably don't want to play on both.
I think you kind of go Henderson because he's like the upside guy, right? Yeah, and he's been playing.
I was just thinking if you wanted to bench Genty, what would he do? But you could put Henderson as your running back and put a different flex in there.
He should probably take out Genty, put in Henderson, and then put Sutton at flex, and then that would be his lineup. So I think that's a better lineup.
Yeah, that's what he'll do.
Right now.
We'll see what he does.
And then and we kind of already looked at Richard because I was already thinking that
Richard's got the conundrum of Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams in the matchup. He's got to pick one. I think that's what's going to decide the matchup, if he picks the right quarterback or not.
And with the Packers defense not being as good, that might be a much higher scoring game because Bears aren't a defense that really shuts you out.
They're
definitely susceptible to big plays. Yeah, he might be like, he just has to get the right quarterback. I think Gibbs will probably have a big game because I don't know, the Steelers. I guess it depends if Watt plays, but Watt isn't the type of guy that would kind of attack the middle of the offensive line as much. So we might be able to run on him. If we can run, then Gibbs is always going to be probably good for like 20 points. It's like if he can pressure us up the middle, Gibbs is probably like a 10-point guy. If you can't, 20 to 30. ETN had 30, and that guy, who did they play? He's been playing really well this year. Denver.
He's been okay the last.
ETN.
Well, he actually has been pretty good this year. Yeah.
He's been good all year. He's top 10 running back.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was doing that well.
I liked it. That was one of my favorite picks in the draft when Adam made that pick because I was actually looking at him too, and I was like, darn, I should have grabbed him. But I already had so many good running backs. I didn't expect my running backs all to suck except for John Taylor.
Oh, yeah, that's because last year they had Tank Bigsby, and Tank Bigsby was very involved. This year they turned him away, went full on Travis Etienne. But that was after the draft. So I had Tank Bigsby in both leagues, I think. And I was like, fuck. He just turned into Philly. He's not going to see the ball ever, and he hasn't.
That was one of those classic cases where you just pick one, and then you just, if you're right, you feel great. If you're wrong, you're just kind of whatever, just because it's a later pick. But I like DTN over all those two. Yeah, the Rice thing hurts without Mahomes. That does knock his team down a little bit because Rice is just like a good for 10 to 20 points every week, somewhere in there.
Yep.
And then Pickens has had a couple down weeks. The thing is, though, Bowers isn't going to have the Eagles, and Bowers is he's got Houston though. It's just like,
yeah, He's actually starting 2 tight ends currently. Brock Bowers and Dallas Goedert.
Well, because Goddard's been great all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a weak stretch there for a while, but other than that, he's been like good for double-digit points most games.
Yeah, I think he had a rushing touchdown last game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's gonna be
Eagles
good.
D against Washington, that's pretty good. Patriots D against Baltimore, that's good. That's gonna be a good match.
I have a hard time picking because the Rashee Rice thing knocks down Richard a little bit for me.
I'm picking Heaps. I'm picking Heaps in this one.
I'm gonna go with Richard because I've been championing this team now for multiple weeks, so I'm gonna go with it. Who did the Eagles play defense? That's a good one too. Washington. Oh my god, yeah, it's good for like.
Oh yeah.
I like Richard. Richard and Tiff, I think, is going to be our finals. That's what I'm calling. You're calling.
Okay. Oh, I was calling
Tiff and Heaps.
I'm calling Carsons and Heaps.
There you go. Now you could be on Tiffany's shit list. She hates me for hating on her.
I think Josh Allen's gonna fuck up this week, and that'll be that. See, on the losers bracket, we have me versus Lee. If I was a betting man, I would pick Lee, but
I'm picking Lee on that one.
I ain't betting shit, so
Lee's team's not bad. Lee's team's good.
It's 62-38. He's projected for 112. I'm projected for 90. But I'm projected for 90 every week, and I score more than 90 most weeks. So.
Well, you also had like the second best player on the week, or maybe first.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence last week. Yeah. Well, he counteracted.
23 people. Sorry.
It's actually
23 people.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's 23 people in all of fantasy on ESPN that lost that had Lawrence and Kyle Pitts starting, who scored over 80 points depending on whatever metric you're looking at. Our league, they were 84.4 points, and there was 23 people in the world that lost with them starting.
But it was me and Tiff in the bye, and Tiff had Pitts, and I had Trevor Lawrence to cancel it out, and the rest of it was enough to win the bye week.
You guys had like your big game, so I'm kind of curious now. That was like your big game on
I know.
Year, right?
We both scored like 100. Yeah, what was it, like 130 to 120? I can't remember. It was like we had very high scoring matches.
111 to 109. There's some decimals in there, but yeah,
that wasn't as crazy as I thought. But yeah,
but I mean, for your guys' team and like what you have for a roster, those are like 150 point games for like normal teams. Those are big games.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Trevor Lawrence gets to play Denver, so I'm sure he'll do great again. Fuck, I might look at picking up a quarterback to sum out. In all honesty,
I just ride it, man. He's played well the last couple of weeks. He's starting to get it. He's 7th overall on the.
He has looked good.
His last 4 games.
Some of those throws too. Holy shit! He's just like that one throw he dropped back like 25 yards before he threw the ball. I was like, well, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But he still completed it for like a 40-yard pass. I was like, well, after the drop back, that was like a 65-yard throw, man. Nuts.
Yeah, I think if I were in your position, obviously you can listen to me. You don't have to, but I would definitely start Lawrence. I mean, sometimes you just like start your studs. He's like your only stud.
I got Cameron Dicker.
Dicker the kicker.
What's the other losers matchup? We have
Vicky versus.
Yeah, Vicky versus. No, not that one. Yeah, Vicky versus Poor. Yep. This one is closer projections. It's 90 to 98.4. So Poor is favored 55% to 45%.
And Poor loses probably some value on Kelsey without Mahomes.
Big time.
J-Mo's been red hot. So, I mean, J-Mo's probably the best player in both, across both teams. Quinshot
might come down to that. Does J-Mo have a good game or does he have a dud game? Because he has had a few of them.
Yeah, but he hasn't had one in like a month. I mean, he had one in his last 5. He's only had one dud game. So,
but there's a chance you guys dominate the Steelers, and then you just aren't throwing the ball in the second half. You know what I mean?
That could be. I also don't like Judkins. I think the reason I got rid of him is I was really worried about Sanders. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. And
Judkins been useless since Sanders got there.
Yep, that's.
But I think. Sipnaski is just kind of trying to see what he has with Sanders. So I think they're just not trying to run as much. In my opinion, I think they're just like, let's see what we got here. Like, do we need to draft a quarterback next year or do we have something? So I think that's what they're doing for the rest of the season, and they're just throwing it a lot to see. So they have some film to be like, what do we want to do? We could run the ball and play good defense and keep these games closer, but what's the point when you're a mile and a half away from the playoffs anyways?
I think if Vicky has T. Higgins, I think she wins. I think that will be the difference maker in their matchup. Otherwise, I'll give it to Poor.
It's going to be a close one. I'll vote for Poor on this one too. I'd rather play Vicky in the finals if that's what it comes down to than Poor. So I'm hoping. And it'd be fitting. It'd be the same as last year. The two worst teams wind up in the final match. It's more fun that way. The winner's bracket never winds up that way. It's never the two best teams that go to the end. The loser's bracket, since we've done it, has been pretty consistent.
I got knocked out in the second week last year, and I was the best team by like 200 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, the winner's bracket, most years, the best team does not win.
Nope.
But since we've done the loser's bracket, last year, I'd say the worst team lost. That was me. The year before that, Carson's lost. I think he had the worst team, and the year before that, Lee lost. Actually, I don't think Lee had the worst team that year. I think there were several teams worse than his, but so we'll see how it plays out going forward.
Well, next year we're probably gonna have some really bad teams, is what I predict.
Yeah, there might be. Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm worried about my team because I don't like my keepers right now. Jonathan Taylor, like he fell off the last couple games. I know he was on a tear. I actually wanted to trade Jonathan Taylor, but I didn't know if I was gonna be able to find someone to give me like value I wanted for him. So I didn't really push it.
Yeah, but you could not keep somebody too. With all the trades that happened at the end of the year, I think not keeping someone's a viable option now.
If depending on what the Vikings do at the end of the year, if like Justin Jefferson seems to get things together, then yeah, maybe I'll look at keeping him. But I think if I get like the early pick and I have like Amon-Ra, I'm gonna take Amon-Ra over my keepers.
We'll see what happens. Anything
Yeah,
else you want to talk about?
Wild.
Yeah,
No, I was just
very much.
pondering.
I'm very much looking forward to the next year's draft.
Well, of
You guys
course
are
you
coming
are.
down,
You
right?
have the best, by far the best odds next year to win.
Well,
So,
regardless, it's just fun. It's fun to have everyone together because it happens once
Oh,
a
yeah.
year. To get the whole group together, except for Richard. You better
We
come
need
this
to,
year,
like,
Richard.
maybe this year, like we vote on a rule that you have to be there to draft your team.
I don't want to do that because shit happens. I mean, if you have to go to a funeral or you have to go, and like Richard was going to a box seat at the Brewer game. I'm like, I don't know. Like, do you really want to pass up on that to go to the draft?
Yeah, but he's done it twice now.
I probably
Maybe
would.
It's like if you keep
Yeah.
doing it, and then it's like, come on now. Like if you miss one every now and then, that's fine. But I don't want to hate on Richard, but it's like I honestly don't care that Adam drafted his team, honestly. But it's been twice now. It's just one of those things.
Well, you got to send a sub.
It's
So-
definitely better than doing auto draft because what did we do that
Yeah.
year? Yeah. So I'd rather have.
Yeah, that one year we let them draft online, which was just a huge pain in the ass. But then I think after like the fourth round pick, he just stopped picking, so we just had to wait the 2 minutes to get the auto draft. So yeah, that year was, and that's why I ended that option. I was like, no, it's if you can't make it, you can't make it. Find a sub. If you can't find a sub, I can find one for you. Message me. I can probably find a sub for you, but otherwise you're out of the league. Like it's 1 day a year. Put it in your calendar. Don't schedule your shit for that day. It's not that hard.
Agreed. Like I said, mostly it's just like it's happened twice. That's my only concern about it.
Yeah,
Hopefully it doesn't happen.
but
again.
I don't want to make that a rule just because like real shit does happen. Like funerals happen. Emergencies happen. Things do happen where it's like I can't make it. I don't want to be like, yeah, you're out of the league then because that happens. Because most of these people have been in the league for 5 to 70 years. That's why we finally allowed trading draft picks because I feel it's been a consistent group for a very long time. And I like everybody in the league, and I think we all have a lot of fun together. So I don't want to just be kicking people out because, yeah, sorry, I can't make that day.
I gotta start cleaning up my drafting though in this league. I feel like this is the only league that I feel like I don't perform well in, like of all time.
Well, I mean, doing it live, there's a little more pressure there.
Sometimes you just like get antsy and you want to do the thing you want to do, and then it's your pick, and you're like, shit.
Well, this is always
Yeah.
the league I kind of fucked around into initially in the beginning. Like I'd always try like strategies I don't normally do. So I tried to go back to my normal strategy this year, and it worked okay. I guess I made the playoffs. But
We're good for the
my
first
goal
half
is
of the
never to
season.
make the playoffs. My goal is to win it all. Like I'm the type of person I go in every year thinking I have the best shot at winning. So I haven't felt that way in the last like 2 years though, because I haven't done the research I normally do. But
Me neither. That's why I've been. So I got the dildo, and I might have it again. To be perfectly honest.
I'm staying away from that. As long as I can avoid that, I'm happy.
Yeah, at least you're in the playoffs. Yeah, or we're in the playoffs. You're out
I would
of the-
rather
you're not in
be
the
I would
losers
rather
bracket.
be in the losers bracket right now with the third though. So I'm feeling pretty bad, right? I don't feel probably the worst because I feel
It's only
like
a third. Go back and look at the third round picks in years past, and you'll be like, it's not that bad to lose a round pick. Like, there's not that many good players in the third round. Like, they're
that would have
okay.
been Brees Hall for me this year. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
Brees Hall's
something like
decent.
that. Like,
It's
that's
more
why we
so
live
that
into the third.
yeah, no,
When
it
you get
definitely
four of
is
them,
good.
you got a good shot at hitting somebody. When you have one or don't have one, it's like, yeah, how often do I blow my third round pick anyways? It's not that uncommon.
I think what I need to do is write down because I made an idea to like write down things that I take into the next draft, and I keep forgetting to do it. Like last year, my thing I was gonna write down, and it was gonna draft McBride no matter what, like second round, like late second, early third, or whatever. I had that written down, or I would have written it down. I didn't. So in the draft, I don't think I had a shot on that. I think Tiff might have taken it before I could have, but that was like one of those things. I'm like, I need to like do that because every time I think that, I'm normally right at the end of the season, but then on draft day I don't remember it, or I do something completely different, and I'm just like,
Well, sometimes you just see the value of another player and you're like, should I really do this? And you don't. Or you do, and you feel bad, depending on the results.
I have a guy in mind. I don't want to say it on the podcast because,
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
but I do have a very. I think my second pick is obviously we're going to probably have a keeper. I think my second pick I don't think will be drafted before then, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Depending on
And
what,
sometimes
if I get it late first,
sometimes
then
it's
maybe
important
not.
to ignore like the chart of like there's the value and here's the value and here's the value and you're like this is the guy I want. I think he's worth this much. I'm taking him when I want to take him.
Yeah, I
That
haven't been good at this in the last couple years. I used to be a lot more like I probably had like 20 players that I would actually draft every draft, and now I just don't do that. I just kind of look at the list and just take whatever the top person was of the person that I
yeah,
had.
sometimes
on the
it's.
draft board.
I mean, the best year I ever had in fantasy was when I did exactly that. But ever since I've been like, and it was the first year I ever played, and I didn't know any of the players, so I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna take this guy because he's the top of the list. This guy at the top of the list. That was the first year I played
Yeah.
with you. I mean, it was an
Le'Veon
8-man league.
Bell and Antonio
Le'Veon
Brown.
Bell and Antonio Brown and Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn
Yeah,
Lynch.
that was
That was the
Marshawn
most
Lynch.
insane
That was your
team I've
first
ever
pick.
had. Yep.
No,
I was like, this. Yeah, I mean, it was unstoppable. But I just went up the list. I'm like, I didn't really know who these guys were at the time because I didn't follow football outside the Packers very closely at all. So and a lot of it's luck too. You don't really know, but at the same time, I do feel there's a huge thing of this guy's ADP is the 5th round, and I want him. But it's like, do I grab him in the 3rd to make sure I get him, or do I wait till the 4th and hopefully no one else snags him in front of me, or do I wait till the 5th and hope he goes around his ADP, or do I just like fuck it, he's worth this? I'm pretty sure, but it can bite you. It can definitely bite you when you do that.
I think I'm gonna do what I said though. I'm gonna do it after like next week's podcast. I'm gonna make my list and
Start
I'm gonna
writing
write
them
things down, and then I'm gonna try to honor that into the draft next year and see how it works. Just do something that I haven't done before that I've been telling myself for a couple of years I wanted to do.
As long as it's not a Packer player, you can kind of wait till a round or two early. But if it's a Packer player, you got to go like 4 rounds early. Otherwise, you ain't getting them.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be more aggressive. Yeah, I agree. The only Packer that I've ever got, I drafted a team for shit. It was when we had the 920 league, or is this the 920? No, this is the Australia Compton League. So the 920
Yeah.
league. I can't think of his name right now. It's another Asian guy. Why can't I think of his name right now? He got me the job at Injuries too. Why can't I think of his name?
An Asian guy in the Packers?
Well, no, I'm talking about I drafted for our friend who's Asian.
Oh,
It was in the
gotcha.
9-2 league. Arthur. And I
Oh,
drafted
okay.
Jordy Nelson for him in like the 4th round. I was just like shocked, like no one drafted Jordy Nelson. It was like the second year we did it, and Jordy Nelson was like the 3rd overall receiver that year, and he had like a really good season. Like me drafting his team, and I was just like,
Oh,
the only time I drafted, it wasn't even for me. I just drafted for someone else, and I drafted a Packer way later than I expected him to go.
so that was his breakout year. That was probably when Jennings just left, or Jennings was still there.
It was
but not the-
really early on. Yeah, it was like our first or
Yeah.
second year in that league, so he might have only been in the league for a couple years at that point. But yeah, I remember that. I was just like, why is this guy still here? I kind of like him, and then he ended up being, like a 1,400-yard, 12+ touchdown guy that year.
Yeah.
That's probably his first year as Aaron Rodgers, the number one. It had to have been because I think after that he was always like a 2nd or 3rd rounder.
Yeah, it might have been when Jennings left then. And it was probably like Cobb was still there, so they weren't sure like who's going to be the number one. And then Jordy was
Right.
kind of like Cobb was always the slot guy, and Jordy was the guy.
Well,
That
he was
makes
just
sense.
so good at that back shoulder, which Rodgers that was like his best throw
Yep.
when he was younger. And Jordy might have been the best receiver in the league at that. So those two together were just unstoppable. I would always get so frustrated. It's such a hard play, but those two guys were some of the best ever to do it, and they were on the same team at the same time. So it was just an unstoppable play, and they
Yeah,
just made it look easy.
I miss it. It was fun watching those.
Yeah, you don't have that right now. You guys need
No,
to find.
we do not.
That's the thing. You need to find Jordan Love. Like I don't think Watson's a number one. I really don't. I think you need to really find him.
I think he
Number
can
one.
be. He just needs to not be hurt all the time.
That's
After
I
he
just
came
don't
back
think
from
people can
injury,
trust
dude,
that.
he was averaging like 1.5 touchdowns and 100 yards a game after that. Like he's had an insane stretch. An
He
insane
had
stretch.
looked good this. Yeah, I just feel like the injuries, and then he has
Yeah.
had some inconsistent play. It's kind of like the same thing of Love, where I've changed on Love, where it's like Love would have those like straight crazy good streaks, but then there was always something that just left me, thinking like, is he this or not? And I think he's proven he's better than I thought. He's been consistent now.
All right, should we call her there?
Yeah, I was getting distracted by Leo, so I don't know what's going
That's
on here.
okay.
He's touching cats, petting cats. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's you get back to the family life. So thanks everyone for listening once again. Enjoy your Jameis Winston quote of the week, and good night.
String beans are green beans that look like strings that happen to be beans.